Hey everybody, we had such a great session with Auman and Hiro Ueda. We had to break it up into two parts. And it's a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss this one. We did the first part on technology and business. The second one, we started talking about the Code of Bushido in Japan and what it means to Hiro and myself and Eric and the trip that they just did maybe just a few short weeks ago. So if you don't mind, we're going to break it up into part one, and now we're going to start part two. You're going to love it. So Eric, what advice? Two questions really. What advice would you propose for the independent dealer? What's the biggest thing you could say to them about how they can be successful, moving forward? That's one question. And the second question is more or less related to, the little self-serving, but the consortium or the Executive Connection Summit. You've been a huge advocate of both, and I'd like to know why you find it to be such a useful tool for you. So number one, what's the advice you're going to give to the community for growth and profit and success?
Well, I think all the different dealers and the mega dealers, they have their own objectives and their own philosophies. I think all of us to a degree are going to have to transform our businesses and adapt and stay relevant, engaged, whether it be diversifying into new deliverable products, expansion geographically. I think so many of the dealers are, from our perspective on our little piece of this, they're spread so thin trying to focus on sales and growing, and a lot of times some of the operational pieces, they're missing, whether it be their IT infrastructure, where they can, in our world, source repairable parts. So many of them, just kind of take it for granted. If they have a good parts individual, then they source things properly. If they don't have a great system, and a lot of the OEMs have great systems that source all repairable parts, to us. But I think the manufacturers, there'll be some consolidation. I think the dealers all of us will have to continue to transform and adapt. I guess which leads to the consortium. We're honored to be a part of that. We didn't know how it was going to help us, but we knew we were going to be connected to a lot of good people. We got to know you more, and Hiro, we're very blessed. He's just a great colleague, and more than that, now we consider him a good friend of ours, and working on a lot of these initiatives. And in my estimation, it's one of the great networking events in the industry. We got to talk to so many people. Most of them, use our services, but we still get to connect at a different level and talk to them. And I personally have not been to the Scottsdale area that many times, so I got a whole new perspective of that area too. It's a nice time to connect with everybody, golf a little bit, have a good time, and great collaboration there.
So, well, thank you for the little bit of a commercial on ECS, and I'm glad you enjoy it. Who, if I were going to ask you, who was your, if you could say it, if you feel comfortable to say it, who was your number one mentor or two mentor or three mentor? Who has taught you the most throughout your career?
Trying to think of who. I know what taught us the most, our team here, is we went through a lot of great times for 15 years or so. Then we had a pretty rough spot for 3 or 4 years. We learned more in those 3 years than we learned the whole first 15. Going through the adversity, really having to struggle, get back to the basics, to kind of regroup and rebuild our company. And we came out so much stronger that we would have never learned those lessons without going through adversity. I don't know if I can point to any one single person, because our team here is just we have an incredible culture, incredible group of people, and when we did have to band together, and really we had our backs against the wall, we came out so much stronger now. We've had great relations in the industry. One person that always stands out to me was the global executive, Al Vieira, was just a pretty good mentor, great partner to us. Hytec is all about partnerships. We don't really like to be just a vendor. We treat our customers like partners, and in turn, most we're blessed that most of the OEMs and the dealers treat us as partners too. Rico is such a strong partnership of ours, and Bruce Nelson now works with us, but he was the number 2 service executive there. We learn a lot more of what they do internally and the partnership and friendship that we developed with him. And he took early retirement 3 years ago now and joined Hytec to help develop some of our new vertical markets for us. Frank Canada, we did not know him early on, even though he's been in the industry forever and ever. He's been nothing but incredible to us. He's become a good friend. He took the time to come down and visit us and learn about our business. He's always willing to connect us with anybody we need to. We're connected, more with you now too, and you have so many good connections. So I don't know that I can point to one person. There's just, I will say this: our industry, since we're going into new vertical markets, and I told you this during your visit here, we have an incredible industry with incredible people, and I mean that across all OEMs. The leadership, the support groups are just a great group of people. And the same thing in our dealer community. We are all been blessed to work in this space with great people. We're seeing it in a couple of the new verticals we're going into, but on some of the new verticals we're going into, we don't see it. It's more of a vendor relationship, and we'll do some of that work. But we're here for more of long-term partnerships and good friendships, and we want to do business with people that we like, and vice versa. Hopefully they like us and know that we'll jump through hoops to help take care of any issues they have.
Well, adversity is a great teacher, that's for sure. So, and you sure came out of that a whole lot stronger and successful. So my hat's off to you. So Hiro-san, you are an international business person. You've got feet in Europe, Japan, Asia, Australia, America. So when I ask you the question, who has been a mentor to you, that could be 100 people in 100 different countries. So I'm kind of curious, who would you feel comfortable saying, I've really learned a lot from these people?
Yes. So again, this is a great industry because of the really wonderful people that I can learn from. Eric, of course, is one, and I have many other people that I learned from, many aspects. But if I may, tell 2 people, in Japan side, that person is Mr. Murase. He is such a great businessman, and the people I really respect, admire, and my biggest role model. And he's actually at the same age as my father, and that gives me other angle how I respect him as well. And of course, this is everyone knows already. So Mike Stramaglio is my mentor for sure. Yeah,
Thank you.
During this last 23 years, I've been so fortunate to be with him, work with him, like a brother, like like a real mentor, the company side and also the personal side as well. And then, if I may add one more, when I get older, I started realizing more about how my father actually, helped me to grow my career and my whole life. He's been, far away for most of the last 23 years. But when I get older and when I see he's been doing it for the last 50 years, more than 60 years now with the kids, I think he should be the one I list over those.
Well, I'm honored to be included in the same sentence with your dad and certainly Murase-san. Murase-san's been a big mentor to me as well, as you know. So we're running down on time here. I'd like to have a couple of, just a moment. Hiro-san, is there a question you would like to ask Eric? And Eric, is there a question you would like to ask Hiro-san regarding as a result of your trip to Japan?
Okay, so if I may ask Eric, what was the I hope that you have lots of good memories over there. But what was the most memorable thing that you have already shared with your wife, from Japan? What is it?
Good question.
My most memorable part, I enjoyed honestly all of it. I mean, the golf and everything. But the best part of the trip for me was going to your hometown of Dyson, staying in the hotel at Yanago, just seeing the countryside and what I consider to be the authentic Japanese culture in that area. I really enjoyed that part of it, and I went over all that with my wife. Um, my question for here, I don't know if I have one question. I'm looking forward to potentially going back next year. I know that we have more adventures to see and do. Um, I didn't add. Hero did take a day and took us all sightseeing. We went all around to one of the national parks and some Japanese historic monuments, which were amazing to see. Um, Dachi, Dachi Gardens or Dachi Museum, I forget the.
Yeah, the museum's got the greatest, one of the greatest garden.
Yeah, so that was up near his hometown. So that weekend was just amazing for me.
So, final quick question. It's mandatory. You have to answer. So, Hiro-san, your favorite Frank Sinatra song.
All right. 今、船出が近づくこの時に That's my favorite song.
I
In
love that song. Good. And by the way, Hiro-san can sing. He's a great karaoke singer. How about you, Eric? What's your favorite Sinatra song? You have one?
Oh boy, I don't know which one did Ed McLaughlin sing? And he actually did a great job on that song.
Oh, yeah, I forget the name of that song, but it's his wife's song. It was a favorite song that he sang for his wife, Donna.
Yeah,
I
I
can't remember the name, but we'll pick
enjoyed
it
that.
up later. But that's a great song too. So, gentlemen, you guys have been great. I want you to think about, the honor, that and friendship that you both have created based on that trip to Japan. I've always found that going to Japan, every time I go to Japan, the more I know, the more I learn, the less I know, and because it's just such a deep and wide culture. And it's always a treat and a thrill to go back and learn and have a little bit of fun and meet some new relationships. So I'm thrilled that you two and your two companies and your two projects are coming together like this. And so when you think about this trip that you made to Japan, think about the Code of Bushido. If for the audience, if you haven't read the book or learned about the Code of Bushido, Hiro-san and I and a number of Japanese friends of mine have always used it as a sort of a business Bible. You can't go wrong with it. And I encourage everybody to actually read it, learn it, and apply it. It's all about honor, respect, and sacrifice. And it applies in life and in business. So, Hiro-san, you've been a mentor to me, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm honored you're on this call. And Eric, you are now a fast and furious friend. And anything we can do for you going forward, let's have fun with this podcast. I thank you, gentlemen, and you guys have a good 4th of July. So have a good one, guys.